Good morning, everyone, and welcome, beautiful people. Today we have to start your most awaited, The Tempest. Very, very important segment of English literature and very, very scoring as well in case you're able to get the right things in the right place. But I have tried my best. मेरी अपनी एक कोशिश है that you should be able to understand as much as you can in a few points, and then also we will try to take up the important points that will build up important answers. Okay? In order to tackle MCQs, it's really very, very crucial that you must read the text. Without reading the text, you will not be able to identify who spoke, what spoke, and why was it spoken. What was the sequence? Sequence क्या था? किस वजह से ये डायलॉग बोला गया? अगर आप टेक्स्ट को नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो फिर आपके लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा MCQs को डील करना. इसीलिए टेक्स्ट को पढ़िए, थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़िए, आपको बहुत ज़्यादा फायदा हो जाएगा. Okay? Give reasons again. If you know the story, you will know, and that is what we're trying to do here. We are trying to concise a lot of points into very small points so that at least the sequence of events becomes very clear. Let's progress. Let's proceed. Then we will see how it works out for you. Okay? So, when Act 3, Scene 1 begins, a lot of things have already happened on the island. Tempest आके खत्म हो चुकी है. Tempest माने the storm. The storm took place in the first place only, right in the beginning. Prospero raises a storm just to ensure that all the people he wanted to deal with were brought onto the island. And he was masterfully able to do so. These people are scattered here and there. Everyone is scattered here and there. We will try to take up important quotes as well, important speeches. In case there is a certain speech that you want me to delve upon, that you want me to elaborate from you, please leave a comment there and I shall try to take it up tomorrow. Okay? But today I will try to follow the sequence of events that I have planned so that you get a bigger understanding of everything. Okay? Now, coming back to what I was talking about, the sequence of events so happens that Stefano has found a huge stash, a box or a store of wine. He is happily drinking. The lords, the nobles, that is, they are roaming around here and there, looking for each other, half found, half not found, and all the crew and boatswain and captain of ship are somewhere else. So people are scattered all over the island. Caliban is doing what he does best. I will also come up with quotes. Yes, as I said, quotes relevant to what we are discussing today will definitely come up, right? Now, the budding love. Let's start. Act 3, Scene 1 begins. What is it? It begins, Ferdinand, who is the heir apparent to the kingdom of Naples, is picking up logs. How does he come to pick up logs? Prospero gets really tough on him. Prospero tells him, you have intruded upon my island, and now as a punishment, you'd better pick up logs. This was only an excuse. He somehow wanted to get a control on Ferdinand. Why? Because the moment he sees them, he realizes that these two are really going to fall for each other, and that is what is happening. As far as Act 5, Scene 1 is concerned, that I will be taking up in tomorrow's lesson. If you want to continue with this, you are most welcome to. But we cannot do all the acts in detail all in one day. Today I shall be dealing with Act 3 and Act 4, and tomorrow I will be dealing with Act 5 exclusively, because that act is actually the jewel in the crown. Okay? Answers में लिखने के लिए important quotes. Yes, I have been repeating myself, and I will repeat again that I am going to tell you the important quotes as we move on. So, now let's deal exclusively with Act 3, Scene 1. The budding love between Ferdinand and Portia is highlighted over here. All right? So, the budding love, just beginning. A very strong love is starting to happen, but this love happens at first sight. Okay? This is a love of first sight, a love at first sight, which is becoming stronger by the minute. As the minutes pass by, it actually becomes even stronger and stronger. What is Ferdinand doing? Ferdinand's grueling task. What is his grueling task? His grueling task is to pick up logs. What is he doing? He is picking up logs. On whose orders? On Prospero's orders. Okay? Prospero's orders. So on Prospero's orders, he is picking up logs. But what happens? As they show concern for each other, they very quickly come to the conclusion. Where is Portia written? I did not write Portia anywhere. Okay? Picking up or piling up logs. So you have to pick up a log in order to pile up a log. Piling up actually means putting them one on top of the other. So you have to pick them up from somewhere, and when you have picked them up, only then can you pile them up. If you want me to elaborate on that as well, here it is for you. Okay? So, oh yes, Miranda. I'm so sorry. Thank you for correcting the misprint here. Okay? So, thank you so much for your correction. So, they're picking up logs. Ferdinand's grueling task is to pick up logs and pile them. And on whose orders is he doing it? He's doing it on Prospero's orders. Why has Prospero given him this task? Prospero has given him this task to test what kind of a person is this young man. Is he worthy? Is he unworthy? Is he arrogant? Is he submissive? Is he respectful? Is he honorable? Is he not? Is he a waste of time and lazy? So these are the things that he is looking up and testing as Ferdinand is giving this job. Then declaration of love and loyalty between Miranda and Ferdinand. So they are not able to wait too long. Or let us say, another point of view on this is, Shakespeare did not want to spend too much of time on their love story. So he quickened the process. Within one short scene, they went from admiring each other to sympathizing with each other to ultimately promising themselves to each other. Very quickly that happens. So there is love at first sight, but then comes in sympathy, and then comes in the declaration. So they declare love for each other. And why does this happen? Let me repeat again. Because the analysis says that Shakespeare did not want to spend too much of time and distract the viewers, the spectators, from the main plot that revolves around reunion, reconciliation, forgiveness, and freedom. Okay? So, the watchful Prospero and his approval of their match. Do you think Prospero, who is a very sharp person, a very good manager and arranger of everything, would he ever allow them to be alone? Well, unlikely. So invisible. And from a distance, he is watching the development between the two young people. And he gives his approval in silence. He is happy to see that both of them are so devoted to each other already. So he congratulates himself and he thanks the divine above for making it happen. Why? It is a part of his plan. The watchful Prospero and approval of their match is because he wanted it to happen. He wanted it to happen, and that is why it happens, and he is grateful. He is grateful that such a thing will take place. Well, we will take up another set of exercises on grammar as soon as we finish with Act 3 and Act 4. Okay? Now, let's come to the next point. His permission to them to spend time together and caution to Ferdinand. So he gives them permission to spend time together. He lifts the tasks of Ferdinand. He says, well, let's do away with the tasks. Forget about piling up the logs. Forget about picking them. Now you can be at ease. He allows them to go and rest and have each other's company. However, he also warns Ferdinand, as a strict and watchful father, as a caring father, not to take undue advantage of his absence, that he must uphold his dignity and the dignity of Miranda. If he has that kind of chivalry and that kind of honorable upbringing, then he will remain true and chivalrous. Right? So, now, he wanted it to happen. Are you not able to view it? All right, I will try to take up another color, if that can help you in any way. Let me take this up and let's see if it works. Oh. There you go. So what are the important quotes in this particular lesson? This particular chapter, the most important quotes come from Miranda. Most of all, they come from Miranda and they come from Ferdinand. These two people give us very important insights into each other's feelings. What are their feelings for one another? And that is what we are going to. So here is the first important quote, that is, you cannot remember the whole dialogue. So what will you do? You will try to give a quote that is memorable to you. वो जो कि आपको थोड़ा से याद रह जाए. Here I am taking this one. The mistress which I serve quickens what's dead. 10 times what's dead and makes my pleasure and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed. And he's composed of harshness. So these 2 or 3 lines are going to tell us what are Ferdinand's thoughts. I'll elaborate on them once again. The mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. As he is laboring, doing menial task of picking up heavy logs and piling them up somewhere, he is tired, he is weary. His energy is getting lesser and lesser. But the thoughts of Miranda become a motivation. The thoughts that he is actually serving the father of the woman, of the young girl that he loves so much, gives him the energy to move on and complete his task, right? So this is in Ferdinand's dialogue, and because I have it on a piece of paper, I will not be able to tell you the line exactly, but you can look for it. She is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed. She is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed. Crabbed, harsh. Here, crabbed actually refers to crabby. Okay? So, crabbed actually means arrogant and full of anger. And he's composed of harshness, he says. So, he is comparing the father and the daughter, but for the daughter, he is prepared to take up the harshness that his father shows. Okay? So, in case I use black on black, it will not work for you. Okay? If I use black on black, how will it work? If I use black here, okay, you will not be able to see it. When I come to black on this, how will it work? Well, then I'll be using this more, okay? Let me go on to a very dark color. Okay. Well. So, you can look up this particular quote. One tip for remembering a quote. एक quotations को remember करने के लिए एक आपको मैं tip दे रही हूँ. जिस भी context में आप quotation को याद करें, वो कोटेशन आपकी 2 से 3 जगह में फिट हो जानी चाहिए. ठीक है? अगर वो कोटेशन आपकी 2 से 3 जगह में फिट हो जाती है तो आपको बार बार बहुत सारी कोटेशंस याद करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. ओके? नाउ लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई. सपोज मैंने ये कहा कि the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. My labors, all my laborious work is actually becoming enjoyable. Pleasurable means enjoyable. So, he is taking up challenges with a smile. अगर हमको फर्डिनेंड का कैरेक्टर स्केच आता है, तो हम इसी लाइन को कोट कर सकते हैं. That once he had made up his mind to marry Miranda, then he was prepared to take up any difficult task for him. और हम इसी कोटेशन को उसमें लगा सकते हैं. उससे हमें फर्डिनेंड के कमिटमेंट और ऑनेस्टी प्रूव हो जाती है. In argumentative essays, do we write both for or against a statement? Definitely not, Asha. What we are going to do is only take up one stand. You will write either for or against. It is like a debate. You cannot write two sides of it. So, let's take up some questions. Yes, now we will go on to Miranda. What does Miranda have to contribute here? To this particular scene, the quote I will take up for Miranda is, I am your wife, if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. Be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant, whether you will or not. What does this tell us about Miranda? Miranda Ferdinand से कह रही है that तुम चाहो ना चाहो, but I will always be there for you. If you will not marry me and give me the position of being your wife, then I will be your maid. I will serve you as a maid. Right? If you deny me being a companion, fellow over here means companion, right? Even then, I will always be close to you. So, she promises two things. One, she is willing to give her companionship. If she doesn't get that, she will always be close by. Two, if he does not accept her as his wife, even then she would want to serve him and be at his service as a maid. Right? In case the question demands figure of speech, then you may definitely put the figure of speech. But if it is not required, why do you want to get into it and complicate things? Right? A good answer should answer all the queries, should clarify what you have in your mind. Follow the question. Okay? I'm your wife if you marry me, if not, I'll die your maid. So what does this tell us about Ferdinand? What does this tell us about Ferdinand? It tells us, first of all, about Ferdinand that he is committed. He is committed. He is ready to take up a challenge. Okay? I'll take this down. Let me move further down, and then here I shall be able to write them down for you. What does it tell us about Ferdinand? Point 1. He is a committed man. Committed to whom? People and task, both. If he is given a task, he will do it. If he takes up the commitment with a person, he will keep it. So that brings out a very powerful element of Ferdinand's character. Right? As I said earlier, please point out the dialogues that you want me to take up, and I shall take them up specifically in tomorrow's class, because each and every dialogue, according to me, is really very important. It is all like beads put into a string. They all lead one to the other. Koi sa bhi aa sakta hai. But in case you want any specific dialogue explained, leave it there in the comments and I'll take it up tomorrow. What does it tell us about Ferdinand? So, he is a committed man. When he makes a commitment, he keeps it with people and for a task. Number 2, he is chivalrous. What does chivalrous mean? He is courageous. How do we know this? He is a prince. He does not need to do all that. However, if he has taken up the task of picking up heavy logs, he will not escape his duty. He will not only do his duty, but he shows a lot of respect to Miranda and would not allow her to take up his menial work. He upholds Prospero's orders and respect. इसको थोड़ा सा ब्राइटनेस कम कर दीजिए, आ जाएगा. Okay. See, the problem is if okay, I'll go on to blue. Let's see if blue can help. Yeah. Right. So let me read it out again. He is a committed man. Why? He is committed to people and to tasks. He is chivalrous, he is courageous, he shows a lot of respect to Miranda and would not allow her to take up any kind of menial work that he has been given. Okay? Right, I am changing the color. Since you all have put it up, I will change up the color again. And then Prospero's orders and respect is also kept. Not even once behind Prospero's back does he talk badly about him in front of the daughter. He keeps his thoughts to himself. He talks of Prospero's harshness, but he never says an ill word about him. Okay? So no child would ever want their parent to be disrespected. Okay. There's something we're missing here. Before this we had, what does it tell you of Miranda? All right? We were talking about Miranda also. So let's take up some very important aspects of Miranda. 1. Miranda is an obedient daughter. 2. She has no cunning, so very simply declares her love. Right? 3. Has a lot of empathy for Ferdinand. All right? These are important things of Miranda's character. Right? So, apart from these things, what all do we know about Miranda? We know that she is a girl of exquisite beauty. 1. We know about her. Let me write them more. She is a woman of great beauty. 5. She knows her mind. 6. Although she is an obedient daughter, but she knows her mind. If she has decided that she wants to marry Ferdinand, she is not looking for her father's decision. She has already decided. If she cannot marry Ferdinand, she will not marry any other person. She has made up her mind. Despite her simplicity, she has a powerful mind. We can also say that. Okay. Well, I congratulate you on your 43 marks, but I'm sure by the time we reach board examinations, 43 will easily convert into 63. Don't worry. Right. That is another very good point. She wants to share her modesty, which is a jewel of dower, only to Ferdinand. In very short, she is totally committed. Just like Ferdinand, she has got strength of character. Everything about us tells she has a strong character. All right? She is a woman of honor. She will uphold the respect of her father's house, uphold her own respect, and will uphold the respect of her husband's house. So that is what we come to know about Miranda. Right? Give me a moment, please. थोड़ा सा brightness कम करिए. बोर्ड के ऊपर बहुत bright आ रहा है. उससे ठीक हो जाएगा. These problems are coming today because of excessive brightness. I think we can adjust that a little. Right. So, a little lesser, please. और थोड़ा कम हो सकता है. Yes. Thank you. I hope it is clearer now. I hope the board has become all of a sudden very clear. Thank you. Now it's working well. Figures of speech are important for poems. Yes, they are. Okay? Why didn't, I get a question, why didn't Miranda fall in love with Caliban? Well, I wonder whether you're a young lad or a young lady, unnoticed Frey, but I don't think that no, see here it is clearer. Well, I think you should not, yeah. That's better. Is it okay now? Just ask Yash, okay, in case it can be any more changes. So these are, in case, whether you're a man or a woman, you would never want to marry a half-devil. I'm very sure of that, and we know that for sure. Okay? Yes. So let's move on, and now let us take up Prospero. What is Prospero's reaction in all this? Okay? It's a very important reaction that we should get from Prospero. So the question says, what does it tell us about Prospero as a father? So, 1. Prospero is a caring father. 2. He is a careful father. There is a difference between caring and careful. What do we understand? In capacity of being a father, he has brought up his daughter with a lot of care. He will always ensure that she remains protected, that she gets the best of everything. Then he is a careful father. He will not allow anybody to harm his daughter's present or future. Whether it is Caliban or whether it is Ferdinand, he will ensure that his daughter marries the best. Okay? Yes. So, then, what does it tell us about Prospero as a father? He had this union already planned. Already planned. He wanted this plan to take place. He wanted that, yes, Miranda and Ferdinand should marry each other in the future, and probably that is another reason that even Ferdinand ended up on the island. And that is another reason that he put Ferdinand in under test. He wanted to test Ferdinand, not for any other reason, but probably to test, is this young man good enough for my daughter? Then, what do I do? Prospero is doing all this because they must get married and he cares. He wants them to get married. Yes, he wants them to get married. Then, he tests Ferdinand's worthiness. He tests Ferdinand's worthiness. कितने पानी में है Ferdinand? ये उसको जानना बहुत जरूरी है. Number 6, he is happy to see them show such companionship. Seven, he is overjoyed and asks the heavens to rain blessings on the young couple. Right? So let's look at this. Prospero is the spokesperson for Shakespeare himself. With reference to the play The Tempest, give reasons in support of the statement about 100-150 words. Please answer pre-board question. Okay? I'll help you in this one. Prospero is a spokesman for Shakespeare himself. With reference to the play The Tempest, give reasons in support of the statement. Yes, I will answer that for you. Definitely I will. So let's come back to this. What does it say here? Very quickly, let's note down Prospero as a father, and why is this particular testing important for him? Prospero is a caring father. He is a careful father. He had this union already planned. So he tests Ferdinand's worthiness, and he is happy to see that both of them are trying to help each other. They are showing each other companionship. He is overjoyed and asks heavens to rain blessings on the young couple. All right? So that is Prospero's take on all this scene. That is why he had it. He wanted to accomplish. He wanted both of them to like each other, and his mission is accomplished here. Let's take up another question, which is going to talk about the significance of their betrothal. What does betrothal mean? Engagement. Betrothal over here means engagement. So what do you think are the significant points here? Okay? What do you want to send me, Sakshi? Can you please write that down again? That is magic. Ma'am, do we need to prepare these questions? Please reply. The betrothal is to display his vanity of art to celebrate purity of love. So the significance of their betrothal means 2 or 3 things. Most importantly, what is the most important significance? Prospero wanted 2 or 3 things to happen. He wanted to reclaim his kingdom and sit on the throne once again as Milan, which means the emperor of Milan. Number 2, he wanted to teach the misquoting lords a good lesson. That's another thing. He also wanted a reunion, a reconciliation. He wanted to forgive them. He did not want vengefulness on them, right? This is one of his first victories. The significance of the betrothal will lead, or the engagement will lead to reconciliation, to reunion of the families of Milan and Naples. This is one of the most important things that is going to get accomplished, because the future heir for Milan is definitely Miranda, and the future heir of Ferdinand is already declared. The future heir for Naples is already declared and in Ferdinand. Okay? In case you want to help me, in case you want me to help you with some tricky questions, you may type them or you can send them across and I'll see how I can take them up. Okay? Please tell about completing the sentences. Okay? Prospero reclaimed his dukedom of Milan. Yes. So, betrothal, again, upar likha hua tha engagement. Betrothal means engagement. In classical English, sagai ko betrothal bhi kaha jata tha. ठीक है? So, this will bring about a reunion. And what will a reunion bring about? Reconciliation. So, reunion and reconciliation will mean what? Cancellation of hostility. इससे क्या हासिल होगा? इससे ये हासिल होगा कि they will not be hostile to each other. The kingdoms will live in peace. So that is his first step. Right? Let me write it down in more concise points. So the first reason is reunion, which will lead to reconciliation. Secondly, to find a worthy partner for his daughter. 3, to ensure his daughter's future. Okay, his daughter's good future. Then these 3 points are what basically leads him to thank the heavens and ask for their blessings. Okay? All right. Now, let's go on to the next scene. Yeah. Talking of the next scene here, Act 3, Scene 2, the important points of this scene. This particular scene keeps going round and round Stefano, Caliban, and Trinculo. Their humor, the buffoonery that they bring out, along with the conspiracy that goes side by side, tells us a lot of what they all are made up of. In fact, it can also be said that they are a sort of parallel to Sebastian and Antonio's wickedness. They are also wicked, but in a very lowly manner. Sebastian and Antonio are born into royalty. However, The vices are the same. They are driven by temptation. They are driven by greed. That is the similarity between the royals and this bunch of fools who are roaming around here and there. What does it prove? It proves, Shakespeare wanted to prove through these two, this group and that group, that both of them, irrespective of their birth, have become really very lowly in their attitudes towards life. So birth will not matter. It is only a person's internal feelings that matter. Miranda is the only female in the Tempest. What does this tell us about the society of the 17th century in England? Okay? So I will try to take up those things also. Completing sentences, giving reasons. Probably that is what you are talking about. Completion of sentences is to give reasons. In very brief, you have got to answer the question. You will look up that each sentence writes because, and it is for 1 mark, which is completion of sentences simply means over here, give a reason. ये जो पहले शब्द दिए गए हैं, तो इसका reason क्या है? This is again part of very short questions and answers. MCQs are also for 1 mark and they are also for 1 mark. Let's understand this at detailed length. Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo are drunk in another part of the island. Caliban is convincing of his servitude to him. Who is him here? Stefano. Caliban is continuously convincing Stefano that I am here to serve you. I am here to serve you. I will always be loyal to you. You are my Lord and Master. Right? His servitude to him over here means Stefano, all due to the liquor that Stefano has provided to him. We must understand that before this, there was no wine or liquor on the island. Stefano found it from somewhere on the island after the tempest, and he is happily drinking around. When he sees Caliban, he pours a lot of liquor into Caliban's mouth also. Caliban has never tasted it before. He finds the intoxication heavenly. And when that intoxication comes upon him, what does he do? He starts considering Stefano a magical lord, something more powerful than Prospero. Prospero has never given him that high in his life. Prospero has always kept him under control. But Stefano has given him liquor, which makes his mind fly. And so he thinks that Stefano is greater than Prospero. That is why I have put it here in a bullet point. Caliban is convincing his servitude to Stefano, all due to the liquor that Stefano has provided to him. Next point. Trinculo continuously mocks Caliban for his monstrous looks and throws jibes at him. What do you understand by jibes? Jibes, all right, jibes basically mean teasers. When you keep pinching somebody, जब आप किसी को pinching words बोलते रहें, उनको jibes कहा जाता है, right? So, Trinculo is not only mocking him, but he is continuously pinching him with his harsh words. What happens? Caliban develops a detest for Trinculo. Caliban is not able to take it anymore. He feels really very pinched by all these dirty comments that Trinculo is throwing at him. Caliban detests Trinculo and tries his level best to convince Stefano to get rid of Prospero. So Caliban wants action taken upon Trinculo, and he also wants Prospero to be eliminated. They steadily make progress towards the cell. All this while, what has to be kept in mind is reason based में बहुत problem आती है. Any tips? The only thing you have to do is I think reason-based, if you are talking about the short ones, then give reasons. You will have to read the text. Once you know the sequence of events, एक दफे आपको पता चल जाएगा कि इसके बाद क्या हुआ, इसके बाद क्या हुआ, ये क्यों हुआ, you will be able to give it very easily. You must know the story. You cannot escape reading Prospero and Caliban and everything that comes in Tempest. From Act 3 to Act 5, I think you cannot escape. You cannot go without details. You need to have those details in your mind. Okay? Now, let's move on. They steadily make progress towards the cell, and Caliban tells them how to go about the murder. Okay? How to go about the murder. He also tells them to take a few precautions. Let's talk on these precautions. He tells them 2 or 3 things. That first, you must ensure that we all must ensure that Prospero is asleep. Because it is only during his sleep that you will be able to get him. The other thing is that before you go close to him, ensure that his books are taken away. The books are a source of all his powers. So the books must first be taken away from him, and then only should we knock a nail into his head or slit his throat or whatever that they decide to do with him. He also tells them to take a few precautions. Those are to find him in his sleep, and secondly, to find him sleeping, and secondly, the books. The books need to be taken away. Trinculo gets beaten up by Stefano. Trinculo declares himself as the ruler of the island. Stefano declares himself as the ruler of the island. But then, who is forcing him? इसको समझने वाली बात है कि अभी तक स्टेफानो को कौन चढ़ा रहा है, कौन उसको पंप कर रहा है. Caliban has been pumping him that he is way beyond Prospero, that he is built to be a lord and an emperor. And so Stefano is very convinced. He declares himself the future ruler of the island. And he also appoints in advance Trinculo and Caliban as his viceroys. Trinculo declares himself as the ruler of the island, while the others over here refer to Caliban and Trinculo, are his viceroys. Why does Trinculo get beaten up by Stefano? He is continuously teasing Caliban, and Caliban reports. He asks for justice. He said, if you are going to be the future ruler, you must give me justice, because I will serve you with complete loyalty. If he has to be served with complete loyalty, then he should get something in return, and that is justice. First sign of justice is beating up of Trinculo. Another very important point over here is, what is it that actually makes let me write over here and it will help you. Let's see if this one works for you on the dark. Miranda is a big temptation that Caliban gives Stefano. This is again a very, very different and important segment. Okay? A very different and a very important segment here. Before I talk, please based में keywords लिखना important है क्या? Reason based, in case you feel you have to answer those questions very, very briefly. Now, you cannot delve too much on elaborateness. Please ensure that the keywords, the important things only are written there and your answers are brief without pinpointing the main reason. Do not leave the answer, do not write too long. The main reason has to be given. That is what they're asking you, nothing here and there. That is why it has to be brief. Let's come back here. Miranda is a big temptation that Caliban gives Stefano. He talks of Miranda's unparalleled beauty. He talks of Miranda as one of a kind of beautiful woman he would have never seen. Why? He had seen Sycorax, his mother, who was an epitome of ugliness and wickedness. Miranda, on the contrary, is an epitome, a paragon of beauty. Paragon, a standing and only example of something that you can call beautiful. So she was so beautiful. And Stefano is going to be if Stefano manages to become the ruler, he can have Miranda as his queen, and together they will have a lot of children. And when they have a lot of children, then they will have a lot of people to rule. That is the whole plan. When Stefano hears about Miranda, then he is even more eager to take control of the island. He is even more eager to reach the targeted place. He is even more eager to go ahead and kill Prospero, take control of the daughter and take control of the properties or the lands. Okay. Always confused between three men of sin and the conspirators. Yes, I will definitely I will talk about that. Yes. Now, Ariel watches in invisible form, creating confusion at first, then plays his tabor. Ariel watches in invisible form, creating confusion first, then plays his tabor, leading them into a stinky pool. The last laugh is the laugh that comes from Ariel. Ariel has been watching all this stupidity for a long time. It's not only stupidity, it is stupidity and wickedness going hand in hand. What is the significance here? The significance of this particular scene is all the buffoonery and all the drunkenness. Everything is there, but the wickedness is also a prime factor that makes this particular scene very, very important. Caliban's wickedness, Stefano's agreement to the wickedness, Trinculo's wickedness to the agreement, or to this wickedness, they all agree on the same thing. उन्होंने कितनी भी शराब पी हो, कितनी भी बेवकूफियां कर रहे हों, मगर तीनों का दिमाग एक ही तरफ काम कर रहा है. That is conspiracy, connivance, greed, temptation. All right? So that is one common factor. And if you look at it, it is the same with Antonio and Sebastian. So he leads them to a stinky pool. How does he lead them? He plays on his tabor, and first of all, they really don't know where the music is coming from. Finally, they start enjoying the music and they follow it like the rats followed the Pied Piper, and they end up falling in a bad pool. Caliban's innate brutality and deep hatred for Prospero is shown, definitely. Not only Caliban's deep-rooted brutality, but also the fact that Stefano and Trinculo are no less. There is a primitive, instinctive likeness of wickedness over here that is displayed. Okay? What does it tell us about Caliban? Let's start understanding point-wise. Now, this brings me to an important quote from Caliban. What is that important quote? I say by sorcery he got this isle, from me he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not. Okay? So here Caliban is luring Stefano. He's telling him that, look, I am very innocent. I am the victim. He is trying to portray himself as the victim. Okay. So, what does it tell us about Caliban? He is trying to portray himself as the sufferer. 2. He has already decided that Stefano can save him from Prospero. What else does it tell us about Caliban? His innate is another word for the word that someone here has used as deep-rooted. His innate wickedness comes to the surface comes to surface full-fledgedly. Four, his baseness in actually leading as a conspirator comes to light. All right? So, these are the points. Let's look them up once again. It tells us a lot about Caliban. He is trying to portray himself as the sufferer, the one who is suffering. He has already decided that Stefano can save him from Prospero. His innate wickedness comes to the surface full-fledgedly. His baseness in actually leading as a conspirator comes to light. So he may be half monster, but he is also capable of conspiracy. He also does not let matters go. He is also capable of conspiracy. Okay? Now, let's move on and understand something else. What does it tell us about Stefano and Trinculo? They are lowly. Lowly, these people have got they are neither born of good blood, but their innate nature is lowly. Lowly can also mean petty. They provide humor. they provide humor which is more of buffoonery. Okay? So they are behaving like buffoons. Buffoons is again very petty humor. There is no class in their humor. There is a lot of pettiness, pushing, pulling, singing weird songs, falling over each other. These all are not, they will not be called at high-end humor, but yes, because they are lowly, so they provide humor which is more of buffoonery. Let's place here. They are equally wicked and very foolish at the same time. All right? So they are equally wicked, wicked as Caliban, but also foolish at the same time. Caliban is not foolish. Caliban is not foolish, but these two are definitely foolish. Okay. What are the similes and metaphors in the Tempest? I shall take that up tomorrow. At the moment, in case I go into that, then the complete revision of acts in sequence to one another will not get over till 10:30 in the night. So let's go with this. It's a very concise manner of learning for those who have not learnt it throughout the year and for those who may pick up some points. Those of you who know the Tempest very well, like some of you do, can either take points or add your own. You can add it and make it even better. Okay? That will help many of you. Now, what is the significance of this scene? They are equally wicked and very foolish at the same time. Stefano is easily gullible. Gullible वो जो कि लोगों की बातों में जल्दी आ जाता है. Stefano is easily gullible and has ambitious plans also. And has ambitious plans also. So he wants to become the emperor. He wants to have Miranda as his queen. He wants to have the rest of earlier his friends, but now he will consider them only as viceroys. If they don't listen, they will get beaten up. So yes, he is power hungry also. I have written ambitious, but you can write power hungry as well. Let's go on to what is the significance of this scene? How does this scene look so important? And is there a message that the scene gives us? The significance is 1. Caliban's vengeful nature comes to light. That's one very, very important point here. 15 out of 15 कैसे लाएं? Okay, सबसे पहले तो अगर आप इंग्लिश ग्रामर को हिंदी में समझोगे तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा, ठीक है? क्योंकि इंग्लिश इंग्लिश होता है, हिंदी हिंदी होता है. हाँ, इंग्लिश ग्रामर तो जो अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं उनके लिए भी थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. तो सबसे पहले कोशिश करिए that at least during an English class you practice your English, okay? one most important thing. I will try my best to take up figures of speech also. So this comes to light. Number 2, it highlights the wickedness of all three. The greediness, the greed in them is also highlighted. 4, their lack of hesitation. To sin is also highlighted. Okay? So they can turn easily sinful. They really don't mind. They can turn easily sinful. So next, let us understand. Coming to Act 3, Scene 3. After this, we have to do the masked scene. We also have to do the banquet scene. We have 2 more very important scenes at hand. Okay? Yes, epilogue is important. You will get questions out. You may get questions out of the epilogue. If you don't get questions out of the epilogue, then the words of the epilogue can easily be used in as add-ons to other answers. That is why the epilogue is important. Let's understand Act 3, Scene 3. The travelers are lost in the wilderness of the island. Who are these travelers? Here we are specifically talking of the lords. Let's count the important lords, the party of lords. So led by Alonso, you have Gonzalo, you have Antonio, you have Sebastian. These are the 4 important lords here. And after that, you also have Adrian, and there was one other fellow. So these lords are not important. They are only there to add to the crowd. But these 4 are really very important. A question had popped up here. Who are the 3 sinners? The 3 sinners that Ariel as a harpy refers to are, number 1, Alonso, Antonio, and Sebastian. Gonzalo is the good guy. These 3 are the bad guys. Gonzalo is the good guy. Okay? You don't have to deal with it. You will learn it. You don't have to deal with it. Learn it. Learn your text. अगर आपने टेक्स्ट एक दफे लर्न कर लिया, एक कोट, जो कोट कॉमनली हर जगह फिट हो सकता है, एक कोट डाल दो, 1 नंबर तो आपको 10 में से यूं ही मिल गया. अब 9 नंबर का ही तो खेल है, तो 9 नंबर, तो आपको सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स मालूम होगा. तो आप, जैसे कि ये सीक्वेंस है, ये सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स अगर आपको मालूम है, वही हम करेंगे टेक्स्ट के साथ में, प्रोज के साथ में और पोएट्री के साथ में. एंड आपको याद आएगा, आप इसके ऊपर लिख सकते हैं. यू कैन राइट एंड यू विल गेट मार्क्स. राइट. The travelers are lost in the wilderness of the island and seem to go round and round in circles. Gonzalo is weary and begs to rest as he is old. Alonso is distraught and seems to lose hope of finding his son. Antonio and Sebastian are busy hatching their plan to eliminate the 2 lords. They are lured by strange music and strange beings. So these are some of the points to begin with. Once they are lured to a certain place, they are lured to a feast. उनको कौन बहला फुसला के, luring का क्या मतलब होता है? बहला फुसला के ले जाना. They are lured by strange music and strange beings. Where are they lured to? They are led to the banquet. All right? Okay. important quotes. I will come to that. Let us first finish this. Okay? Sebastian, Gonzalo, and Antonio. Gonzalo is not the bad guy. Alonso is the bad guy. Gonzalo is the good guy. The travelers are lost in the wilderness. Wilderness? In the strange, uninhabited land. जहाँ कुछ नहीं है, यहाँ से वहाँ तक सन्नाटा छाया है, बियाबान, उसको wilderness कहते हैं. Of the island and seem to go round and round in circles. They are lost. So when they've been walking around for quite some time without any results. Gonzalo is weary and begs to rest. So Gonzalo is very old and he gets tired and he requests Alonso, who is the highest in position. Riviere will come. Okay, let me tell you the plan. We are going to give 2 days to the Tempest, 2 days to prose, and 2 days to poetry. Okay? 2 days to prose, 2 days to poetry. That is how we will be able to complete it. I cannot switch from one and go on to the other. We will have to follow a sequence. Okay? Yes, they are singing and dancing gracefully and are inviting them to partake the meal. Are these questions enough to prepare? These questions are simply preparing you through the summary, and you will get a lot of questions that these questions will be a part of every question. Let me assure you of that. नीचे जो questions लिखे हुए हैं वो आपके act-based questions का part ही होंगे. You will not be able to deal with an act-based question without the questions that I'm doing here. Okay. Let's go on. Alonso is distraught. Distraught means he's completely hopeless. I mean, he's out of hope. He has run out of all hope of finding his only son Ferdinand. Antonio and Sebastian, they really don't care a damn about the King Alonso. They don't care about Gonzalo. They don't even care whether they will be able to get out of the island or not. But they are already just like Trinculo and Stefano, they are also planning to become future kings, whereas they are trapped on the island. That is so funny. By hatching their plan to eliminate the two lords, right? They are lured by strange music and strange beings. And where are they lured to? They are astonished to see such extraordinary beings who invite them to eat. When they try to touch the food, Ariel appears in the form of a harpy and makes the food disappear with a flap of his wings. He accuses them, he accuses them and points out their misdeeds. He tells them how downtrodden, it's written so trodden, well, it is downtrodden, how downtrodden they are. He foretells of a devastating future. He tells them to repent. So these are the basic things that come out when Ariel appears as a harpy, and all the lords are hungry, tired, they're at their worst, at their lowest. It is at that point of time that Ariel appears and tells them that, look, these are the things you have done. You are so bad, so wrong, so low, that even the sea spat you out. मतलब आप इतने ज़्यादा disgusting हैं कि आपको इतना बड़ा समुद्र भी नहीं निगल पाया. उसने भी आपको उलट के फेंक दिया on this desolate island. He tells them that you have very, very bleak futures. Your future is very dim. You are going to suffer a lot in the coming times because your karma is very bad. So since your deeds in the past, deeds and karma are the same thing, since your deeds in the past have been so sinful, you do not deserve to have a good future. He tells them the only way is to find redemption is to repent, to regret what you have done, to feel sorry. Yes, that is a very good point. What does it tell us? They don't even think of anything. They are so given into greed, into having everything. मुझे अभी चाहिए, इसके लिए मैं कुछ भी करूँगा. That is the way they are. Given to temptation. So these are the points that basically even mark the important message of the mask, of the banquet scene. The banquet scene has got a message, and that message has been given once again. If you want to read what is the significance of the banquet scene, then it is already here. He accuses them and points out their misdeeds. He tells them how downtrodden they are. He foretells of a devastating future. He tells them to repent. Right, so let's now try to point out in our own words. What's the difference between sympathy and empathy? I'm confused. Okay, well, to have empathy is to have very sympathetic feelings. You cannot, sympathy can become a verb. Okay, she showed sympathy. It can be a doing thing. Whereas empathy is more feeling. Okay? I feel empathetic. So empathy is more towards inward feeling, whereas sympathy is more towards expressing of it. You may have empathy, but you may not show sympathy. It's that way. Okay? So, despite Prospero's empathy for Caliban, he did not show sympathy. He became a taskmaster to keep Caliban under control. It's that kind of a difference. Okay. Right. So let's take it one by one. The first one. The scene, the banquet forces them to reflect on their sinful deeds. Okay, it was a device. Number 2. He over here is Ariel. He uses very harsh words to make them regret. Three, he warns them of their bleak future. What else does he do? He forces them to go into a state of penitence, or repentance. This is what actually Ariel has done. But then, who is making him do it? That is what also we have to understand and write. जब इस सीन का सिग्निफिकेंस की बात कर रहे हैं तो हमको ये बहुत ज़्यादा ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि इसके पीछे प्रॉस्पेरो का क्या मकसद था. एरियल अपनी मर्जी से नहीं कर रहा है. एरियल ऑर्डर्स कैरी आउट कर रहा है. वो अपने हिसाब से इमेजिन करके प्रॉस्पेरो के कामों को कर रहा है. बट प्रॉस्पेरो की क्या मंशा है? Why did Prospero do all this? That is also something we need to understand when we talk of this particular scene. So let's go in further. We will write in one or two sentences what was Prospero's idea. It was not Ariel's idea, it was Prospero's idea. So, Prospero shows his magic prowess, power, and takes control of the wrongdoers through this banquet. He reminds them that they are accountable to the King of Milan and his daughter. So this is to target him. This is from this point of view, it is really very, very important. Atonement, yes. Atonement and reconciliation, okay? Atonement and reconciliation are actually very important parts of the theme, okay? But what was this particular scene for? The banquet scene, if we look at it from Prospero's point of view, was to show the power of his magic, one, and to control them, to bend them according to his wishes. He reminds them that they are accountable to the King of Milan and his daughter from all the sins they have done. Ultimately, the harpy tells them, think of what you had done to the King of Milan. What did you do to Prosper and his daughter? So ultimately, everything is moving towards that. It also, another point that I would like you to write is that it also gives direction to Prospero's plans. Okay? Character sketches, yes, very, very important. A harpy is a male or a female. Well, we do not know whether a harpy is a male or a female. It has not been mentioned here. However, we do know that Ariel dresses up as a harpy. We do know that a harpy is a supernatural creature, a creature who was cursed, by one of the angels, you know, from becoming a superior creature to a very, very inferior creature who's always very hungry. He's a gluttonous creature with big wings, all right? With very big wings and part human, part monster. Yes, that will also, we will come to that. So these are the points we will try to understand. Students, I really want you to write that the banquet scene also gives direction, okay, to the play. उन्होंने sin तो बहुत सारे किए होंगे, मगर ultimately कौन से sin को pinpoint किया जा रहा है? The sins against Prospero and his daughter. Okay? It's a culmination of all their bad deeds. Now, finally we come to Act 4, Scene 3. So, what are the important points that we need to understand from Act 4, Scene 3? Prospero declares his approval of the young couple's marriage. From engagement, now he has moved on to, yes, it's a bird-like monster. It's a bird-like supernatural creature. Direct questions can be asked. Yes, of course, they may be. We don't know what does the examiner have in mind. Yes, face of a woman and body of a vulture. Again, what does it make it? A monster, a monstrous creature, a supernatural monstrous creature. Okay, Prospero declares his approval of the young couple's marriage. From engagement, now he has moved on to marriage. He explains to Ferdinand the reason for his harshness. इस पूरे scene में ये important points हैं. He explains to Ferdinand the reason for his harshness. So let's understand some of the reasons for his harshness. First of all, he wanted to test Ferdinand. He wanted to see how much can this man endure. Okay? So, he commissions a masque to honor and entertain the betrothal. Over here is missing. The betrothal of the couple. Ariel arranges for various spirits to come and entertain in the form of goddesses such as Ceres, Juno and Iris. So the spirits have been commanded to come and play the roles of goddesses, to play the roles of fairies, and to play the roles of peasants. They bless the couple with a happy, lasting marriage, long, healthy lives, wealth, and progeny. What are the blessings that they bestow upon this couple that will soon be married? They bless them with a happy, lasting marriage, long, healthy lives, wealth, and progeny. What is progeny? Many future generations. Okay? Act 4 में एक ही scene है. Yes. Oh my God, it's Act 4 has only one scene. Okay? The masque is abruptly stopped as Prospero looks disturbed, as Ariel tells him something. He tells Ferdinand that we are stuff as dreams are made of. Our little life is rounded with sleep. This is a quote from there. He tells Ferdinand that we are stuff as dreams are made of. Our little life is rounded with sleep. And it goes on further. This is one of the very, very important quotes of the play. This is where he gives him words of wisdom. He tells them that do not get too hooked on to what you see in front of you. ये खूबसूरत नज़ारा जो तुम्हारे सामने फैला हुआ है, ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ आँखों का धोखा है. जैसे कि सपने टूट जाते हैं, जैसे कि ज़िंदगी में आप सांस लेते हैं, सांसों की तार टूट जाती है तो आप मर जाते हैं. You don't exist anymore. In the same manner, this beautiful vision of goddesses, of fairies, who are dancing and blessing and entertaining you have also vanished like a bubble. Just the way one day everybody and everything will vanish. These are his words of wisdom too. And why does he say them? He is referring to the illusionary lives that humans lead. Prospero rushes to deal with Caliban and his companions. He lures them with gaudy clothes, distracting them from reaching his cell. Caliban cautions them, but in vain. Spirits in the form of hounds and fierce dogs attack and chase them away. So this is what finally happens here. A beautiful masquerade scene is going on. The masquerade has been put up by Prospero to honor the future relationship of Ferdinand and Miranda. He also, in his own dignified manner, tells Ferdinand to forgive him for being so harsh. He gives him a reason, telling him he only wanted to test his worthiness. And he says, I shall recompense. I am going to compensate by giving you my daughter. उस चीज का बुरा मत मानना, मैं तो तुमको अपनी जिंदगी दे रहा हूं, अपनी डॉटर दे रहा हूं. मेरी उस छोटे से हार्शनेस को भूल जाओ. And let me entertain you. With this, he gives them a lot of entertainment, beautiful sights which probably Ferdinand and Miranda have never ever envisioned before, imagined before. But all of a sudden something happens. Prospero flies into a temper and the whole scene vanishes like poof. In the air it goes off. And Ferdinand is looking at his future father-in-law ki ye kya hua? And he says, well, don't worry. It's just life. ये तो बिल्कुल लाइफ की तरह है. एक मिनट में लाइफ हमारी जब आंखें बंद होती हैं, सारी दुनिया का खेल खत्म हो जाता है, उसी तरह से ये विजन भी खत्म हो गई. So everything is temporary. What is the message he gives? He gives a message stating that everything is temporary. And he also talks about here, if we analyze Prospero's actions, अब अगर हम Prospero के actions को देखें, तो Prospero ने ये क्यों किया? शेक्सपियर ने ऐसा सीन इसलिए दोबारा डाला. एक दफे Prospero ने अपनी ताकत की एविडेंस दी जब उसने टेम्पेस्ट उठाई. दूसरी दफे उसने अपने ताकत की बहुत बड़ी एविडेंस दी जब बैंक्वेट सीन आया. तीसरी दफे उसके ताकत का हमको अंदाजा लगता है जब हजारों स्पिरिट्स उसके कहने पर आकर एक ड्रीम लाइक माहौल बना देती हैं. तो we come to know about Prospero's fantastic magical craft, his power and his expertise over his art. And Ferdinand gets a taste of it that day. Right? Let's understand a little more. Later on, he leaves the scene. He leaves the couple in the company of each other, requests Ferdinand to go and rest in his cell, and then he leaves to deal with Caliban. Okay? And teaches them a good lesson by having them bitten badly by dogs. Okay? Can you please share temporary? Yes. He tries to give them a message that everything in this world, no matter how beautiful, how tall, how powerful, is all temporary and only will last till our life. The moment we die, everything dies with us. Can you please share important them? It's important them is right. So, well, Caliban cautions them but in vain, spirits in the form hounds. So what is the significance of the mask? Now let's try to write and understand more about the significance of the mask. This is where we are going to take up all the points. The mask displays the power of Prospero's sorcery. He wanted to show his affection and approval by entertaining them in the most unique manner. The blessings rain on the couple. Okay? The blessings rain on the couple sorry. Directly from goddesses like Iris, Ceres, and Juno. Okay? So Juno commands Iris, Iris calls Ceres, and Ceres gathers a lot more fairies. Okay? Iris is the colorful goddess. Who is Iris? Iris is the colorful goddess, the goddess of rainbow, the goddess of every kind of color that spreads between heaven and earth. All right? So, Iris is the goddess of color. Ceres is the goddess of earth. All the flora and fauna that you find in the fields, in the farmlands, in the gardens, all the flowers in the ponds, on the far reaches of the Himalayas or the mountains, the fruits, the harvest, everything is controlled by Ceres according to mythology used by Shakespeare, and Juno is the supreme goddess. Juno is the most powerful of them. They all work to please Juno and are under her dominion. Okay? The key words of this is, for this particular scene, I have given you key points. Okay? The key points have been given to you. Let's quickly understand them once again. Words are very difficult, but yes, points I can help you out with. Here we go. The mask displays the power of Prospero's sorcery. He wanted to show his affection and approval to Ferdinand and Miranda by entertaining them in the most unique manner. Then the blessings intended rain upon the couple directly from goddesses like Iris, Ceres, and Juno. And in between, what happens is that Ariel appears and Prospero gets disturbed. The mask is stalled right there. Prospero leaves with Ferdinand with an explanation stating that, don't worry, it is all temporary. It is but vision. Visions are temporary, just like your life and mine. Right? Iris's description of the earth. As I said, I will be taking up important dialogues tomorrow. Today we are dealing with the series. of events over here, sequence of events. Now, having done this, why did Prospero have Caliban and his companions hounded by spirits? Let's take up this particular question. So, why did Prospero have Caliban and his companions hounded by spirits? Here, in case you get why was Prospero, अगर इसी को ही हम देख लें, why was Prospero always trying to keep control of Caliban? ये भी उसी के ही अंडर आएगा. Okay? Prospero was determined to teach all his wrongdoers a lesson Caliban continued to defy. What was Caliban doing? He never wanted to listen to what? He always resisted instructions. He always resisted good teaching. So Caliban continued to defy. कहना ना मानने को defy कहते हैं. Caliban continued to defy Prospero. Caliban continued to, I'll take this, Caliban continued to be hurtful and hateful both. So he was not only hurtful, as in when he got an opportunity, he wanted to hurt Prospero. As in when he got an opportunity, he expressed his hatred. So, Prospero had had enough and he wanted to teach Caliban a lesson. It was time to teach them a lesson. He wanted Caliban to back down, probably. Okay? So, not only about Caliban, but these are also about. One thing I want to talk about here is that why did he do this? उसने अलोंजो और एंटोनियो और सेबेस्टियन के पीछे कुत्ते क्यों नहीं दौड़ाए? Why didn't he make hounds run after the royals? He dealt with them in a different manner, and he deals with these bunch of fools differently. Right? Because their pettiness, the pettiness with which they go about their plans, required a petty reaction. So every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. The pettiness with which they acted called for a petty punishment. All three of them. Besides, we are coming to the end of the play now. There is no time to teach them long-lasting lessons. It was time to take them by the hook as soon as possible. The best way they would learn a lesson is to learn it the way they did things. So, for petty action, a petty reaction. Hounds were sent to teach them a lesson. And who were these hounds? What are hounds? Hounds are hunting dogs. Spirits in the form of hunting dogs chase them, bite them, and maul them, tear their funny clothes. Remember, they are all wearing funny clothes. वो तो सेल की तरफ जा रहे थे और Caliban उनको मना करा था, अरे भैया ये कपड़े मत पहनो, पहले चल के प्रोस्पेरो की हत्या कर दो, उसके बाद जितने कपड़े पहनने पहन लेना। मगर ये दोनों गधे क्या कर रहे थे, ये दोनों गधे कहते नहीं, हम पहले राजा के कपड़े पहन लें, उसके बाद हम मारने जाएंगे, तब तो हम राजा बनेंगे। ये तेरा, ये मेरा, नहीं मुझे वापस दे, यही सब करे जा रहे थे। और इतने में उनकी थैंक यू वेरी मच किसने कर दिया, प्रोस्पेरो ने। यही हो रहा था उनके साथ में। ओके, यस, दोज आर द नेम्स ऑफ द hounds, some of the hounds: Mountain, Silver, Fury, Tyrant. These are all names of the spirits who come in the form of hounds. Okay, now what advice does he give Ferdinand before leaving? He advises two things. The first advice number 1, everything in life and the world is temporary. Nothing is permanent. So everything will vanish, just like the visions, the beautiful visions. The second thing, he tells Ferdinand to rest in his cell. Okay, these are the two things that he simply tells them. Yes, retire and rest to the cell. These are the two things that they talk about. Trumpery or drollery, all these things talking about very gaudy clothes, जैसे रामलीला टाइप वाले कपड़े, वही सब टंगे हुए थे और वही सब पहनने के लिए ये दोनों गधे भागने लगे। Caliban बताता था नहीं नहीं ऐसा मत करो, पर वो कहाँ सुनने वाले। Okay, they are also funny characters. Right, with this we come to the end of understanding. Now before I move on to the grammar portion of all this, let me tell you, tomorrow we will be doing the most important act, and that is Act 5. It has only one scene. It finishes with an epilogue. We will do concerned questions with that, any other of your queries or any other dialogues that you might want me to help you with. With that, we will come to the end of Tempest. Day after tomorrow, we will take up prose. We have to give 2 days to prose. We will divide the lessons between 2 days. Okay? And again, as promised yesterday, we have a few questions from grammar. These ones okay. First, we will deal with transformation. Those of you who have been asking for grammar may please know this. No, it's not dangerous. It's actually very interesting and very scoring, both. Not dangerous and scoring, very interesting. Okay? Right. I was tempted to watch the movie, but I decided to do my assignment. Begin with in. Okay? So, transformation of sentence, you have to do this. Begin with in. In, quickly, those of you who know it, quickly write. In spite of. Being tempted to watch the movie I decided to do my assignment first. Right. In spite of being tempted, was का क्या बन गया? Transform किया हमने, तो was is now being written as being. Okay? In spite of being tempted to watch the movie, I decided to do my assignment first. Let's take up the second sentence. The audience cheered loudly when she arrived. She was cheered by the audience loudly when she arrived. Now, yes, in spite of being tempted to watch, correct? You've got this right. Very good. Let's do this one also. She was cheered by the audience loudly when she arrived. Maybe we can write it in a little slightly different manner. All right? She was loudly cheered by the audience. You can also turn it that way. She was loudly cheered by the audience when she arrived. Okay? So, this much of change is not going to change the meaning at all. You can write it in this way or that way. Let's come to the next. Neeta is generous, though her brother is miserly. Okay. She was loudly cheered by the audience when she arrived. Good. You got it right. So we come with despite, and some of you are already writing it here. Despite her brother's, okay. Her brother's misery, okay. Okay. Despite her brother being a miser or miserly. Both will do. Despite her brother being a miser or despite her brother being miserly, she is generous. Please correct your answers. Okay? Being a miser is also acceptable and being miserly is also acceptable. Okay? So, in case you write being a miser, वो भी correct है. Yes, right. Always pay attention to your punctuations. The more you practice them, the better you will become. Let's look at this one. Oh dear. Good. Despite all the resistance from my family, I took up fine arts instead of science. Begin although. Although my family resisted. I took up fine arts instead of science. So this can also come as, despite, although my family resisted a lot. Okay, all the resistance को हम resisted a lot भी कर सकते हैं. Okay. Now, the woman sighed sadly that she had lost her money. The woman sighed sadly that she had lost her money. Change to direct speech. This is indirect. Now you have to convert it to direct speech. Direct speech का मतलब है अब आप उसके अंदर inverted commas लगाएंगे. Double inverted commas, single inverted commas नहीं. Change to direct speech. Alas, I have lost my money. Inverted commas closed. This, the woman sighed. साय का क्या मतलब होता है? आहें भरना. ठीक है, हमने इसको अगर कन्वर्ट किया है तो हमको साय, सैडली साय का मतलब है कि बहुत दुखी से कहना कि उसका पैसा गुम हो गया. She has lost her money. The woman sighed sadly. इसको हम कैसे एक्सप्रेस करेंगे? We are going to use the word alas, and we will also put an exclamation mark here, because it is a show of emotion. When something is being conveyed with a lot of emotion, then you use exclamation marks. Therefore, sighed will be put up as alas. I have lost my money, the woman sighed. Although my family resisted, instead of science, I took up fine arts. Write it the other way around, make it lesser complicated. गलत नहीं है, पर उसको और सही किया जा सकता है. Okay? Yes, use the exclamation mark. You are getting there, but also the inverted commas. बिना inverted commas के आप direct speech पे नहीं आएंगे, वो कंप्लीट ही नहीं होगा. तो डायरेक्ट स्पीच का होना बहुत जरूरी है, तो इन्वर्टेड कॉमास लगाएंगे. ठीक है, लेट्स गो ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट. द बॉयज शाउटेड जुबिलेंटली दैट दे हैड वन द रेस. Two words you have to pay attention to over here. The boys are not saying it, the boys are shouting jubilantly, बिल्कुल crazed with happiness. जब आप बहुत ज़्यादा खुश होते हैं, सेलिब्रेशन के मूड में होते हैं, तब आप जुबिलेंट होते हैं. ठीक है, द वर्ड जुबिलेंट और ओवरजॉयड, अगर मैं ये वर्ड यूज करती ओवरजॉयड तो उसका भी यही मतलब होता. द बॉयज शाउटेड ओवरजॉयड और जुबिलेंटली दैट दे हैड वन द रेस. चेंज इट टू डायरेक्ट स्पीच. तो जुबिलिएशन के लिए क्या करेंगे? हुर्रा और hooray. Okay, we have won the match. Sorry, we have won the race. Shouted the boys. Okay? Jubilation को हमने लिख दिया hurrah. Now it's complete. Had, please take care of the word had or also. We have won the race. Okay? We have won the race. Can I use exclamation? Of course. Can I use exclaimed? You have to use an exclamation mark. Okay? You have to use an exclamation mark. Stella asked the man angrily, why had he not come in time? Stella asked the man angrily, why had he not come in time? Again, you have to change this into direct speech. Okay? Here you will get a question mark. And inverted commas closed. Stella asked the man angrily, why did you not come in time? Okay? No, you cannot put exclaimed in the place of hurrah. All right? Here you will have to give a word, an expression that is spoken. So when you give an expression that is spoken, it will be, oh, really? You know, something like that. When you talk directly, you do not say exclamation, we have won the match. You cannot do that. Or you can't say exclamation, I am so sad. You will have to give a word for that. So these are the words. Alas is generally used for sadness and hopelessness. When you become very hopeless, then you use the word alas. When you are very happy, then you can use other words also. It can also be anything else that you want to put in, okay? Oh, please don't be scared. There is nothing to be scared of. If you are doing something about it, do something about it and don't get scared. एक ही चीज हो सकती है, या तो डरते रहो या करते रहो. तो अगर करते रहोगे तो डरोगे नहीं. ठीक है? करते रहो, करते रहो, करते रहो. अच्छा होगा. You will do well. How he changed to you? We are talking of the man. So obviously, she cannot say, why man did you not come? Why did man not come in time? Obviously, she will have to write you. Why did you not come in time? If it had a main, Stella asked Sam angrily, why had he not come in time? Then it would have been, why, again also, then it would have been here. Stella asked Sam, but then here it will be, why did you not come in time? If it had a name, it would have been changed here. Okay? Let's move ahead. She declared with finality that she would not go there. She declared with finality. Now, again, finality is not talking normally. When you say something very powerfully, then you are saying it fine. मैं नहीं जाऊंगी, मैंने कह दिया. It is conveying that kind of a thing. I will not go. I have said it for the last time. What are you doing? You are creating a stop. Not more than this. Again, this must come in an exclamation. How do you put it? She said, I will not go there. Okay? Here again, you will use an exclamation mark because she declared, she is making a powerful point. I will not go there. So, it will come as an exclamation mark. I think that makes it clearer for you. Okay, when you are shocked, you can write things like, oh, OH, in order to express shock, it's a very, oh, in order to explain, oh, this is too bad, oh, this is too shocking, oh, this is too ugly. This can also be, oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, what a wonderful dress. Oh, okay? Right. So, your favorite. Now we come to phrasal verbs. Move in and move out is a shift of place. Jab hum, to move in is to move in, to move out is to move out. Either, but then this talks of a shift in and a shift out. Yes, I am confirmed. Well, I am confirmed. You will get direct and indirect, definitely. Direct and indirect will come in transformation. Many a times it does come. So what is the harm in preparing for it? One or two sentences you may get. Your preparation cannot lack thinking कि शायद नहीं आएगा, आ सकता है. It is a transformation from direct to indirect. Let's take that. Or from indirect to direct. Okay. Move in. Move in the furniture. Move out the furniture. We decided to move into the new house. We decided to move out of our old home. Okay? Then move on is to move ahead. Purani batein chodo. Let bygones be bygones. Let us move on. Purani batein chodo. आगे बढ़ते हैं. This is more philosophical. इसका एक philosophical significance भी है. Okay? Now there are two things. The discipline in charge said that we should not stop. We should continue to move on. ये तो एक मतलब हुआ. दूसरा मतलब philosophical है. जैसे कि we should not delve too much on memories. We should learn to move on. She decided to move on after her terrible experience with her employer. Okay? So that can be a more philosophical kind. When will the class end? Well, the moment, Neeta Sandhu, you turn me off, the class will end. Okay. Shift out of place, move on, move ahead. Move ahead is, again, I said, in general terms and philosophical, get along, good companionship. Raj and Ravi get along very well. Miranda and Ferdinand were getting along very well. Right? So to get along, get away is to escape. Get away is an escape. I decided to get away. It can also be used for a holiday. Okay? That's my favorite getaway. I love going for long walks on the beaches. It's my favorite getaway. Okay? A spot to escape everything else. Yes, it is very useful to do one film review and one book review. क्यों कुछ छोड़ना है, करना है? Film review, book review है ही क्या? Pictures जो लोग देखते हैं, उनको सिर्फ उनका produce. Okay, I will talk about film review and book review after this. So stay with me. Get across. एक get across हुआ. We could not get across the river because the bridge was broken. That is the regular meaning of get across. A regular preposition. We could not get across the classroom because the furniture was cluttered together. But what if we say, to make someone understand, please deal with the boy. I cannot get across to him. So, the counselor was unable to get across the lady suffering with a superiority complex. So, get across is जब आप किसी को समझाना चाहते हैं या किसी को ना समझ में आ रहा हो, तो make someone understand. Let's move ahead. Fall for, get attracted. Okay? I'm sure you will fall for the beautiful dress in the showcase. I'm sure you will fall for the house and you will buy it immediately. The princess fell for the beautiful crystal shoes. Fall apart, stand divided. When two people break apart, a good relationship is broken. Whenever a good relationship is broken, then it can be said to fall apart. But in general terms also, I tried fixing the pieces of the vase, but they fell apart. Alag alag ho jana. This can be used in general terms and this can be used for a break in a relationship. Move in and move out. No difference. I just club the two in. Move in matlab andar aana, move out matlab bahar jana. Any recommended book or film? If you ask me, the film I would love to recommend is Sam Bahadur. That's a beautiful documentation. Do that. Right? It's really easy. Sam Bahadur is a good film, and book, well, if you do not read any books, I would tell you to prepare a book review on maybe Tom Sawyer. It's an interesting one. Yes. Some boys fell for the beautiful faces of girls. Okay. Not a very uncommon thing to happen. Now, show off, to try to impress. We always know that. और शो ऑफ का तो बहुत ही अजीब अजीब इस्तेमाल भी होता है. अपने आप को बहुत शो ऑफ कर रही हैं. ऐसे भी लोग बोलते हैं, बड़ा अजीब टाइप से. Well, so we all know the meaning of show off. But if you talk in the other terms, then it is a good thing to show off your product very well. If you use it in the proper sense, then use proper light to show off or present. Showing off का मतलब presentation भी हो सकता है. How do you present yourself? An exaggerated presentation can also be called showing off. Showdown, confrontation. मतलब झिकझिक हो जाना, बहस हो जाना. Okay? Trinculo and Caliban were not agreeing with each other. Trinculo was constantly making jibes at Caliban, and soon they had a showdown. Okay? So that is how you can use it. What did Caliban do? He made Stefano beat up Trinculo. The two girls had been teasing each other in class. During the break time, they had a terrible showdown in the ground. Show up is to appear on the scene. Although my cousin was not expected, he showed up for the wedding looking very handsome. Okay? I don't think that the chief guest will be able to show up at the event. So it is better to honor the guest of honor. Give me a sentence. Oh, fall to? Yes, okay. Thank you for telling me. Fall to, low standards. The nobles can fall to any extent for their greed. Okay? गिरना, ठीक है? जब हम अपनी रेपुटेशन से और अपने कैरेक्टर से नीचे गिरते हैं, तब उसको फॉल कहते हैं. Okay? Your standards have fallen to nothing. Okay? Your high standards have fallen to the lowest level. That's how it is. Do not fall to the extent that you are tempted by everything. That's how it can be used. The teacher get across to me through the essays very well. Okay. The teacher got across to me. Okay? The teacher gets across to me very well through the essays. Right. So I think we have taken a very long lesson here. Those of you who are interested in Act 5 and probably 1 or 2 segments of grammar once again, we are going to do it tomorrow. And with that, I would like to bring an end to this particular session. I'll meet you all tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you so much, and great going. Have a great day, beautiful people. See you. Oh, you want me to explain get across? Get across माने जब हम किसी को कुछ समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. ठीक है? जैसे कि अगर हिंदी में हम इसको एक्सप्लेन करें, मेरी कोशिश है कि मैं उसको समझा पाऊं. I am trying to get across to him. So the little boy wanted to get across to his brother. The छोटा लड़का अपने भाई को समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा था. Like that, okay? Fell to the teacher's eyes. No, fell out of the teacher's. Not fell to the teacher's eye. No, that will be wrong, okay? You can't, you fall to a standard. He fell so low that he fell out of the teacher's good opinion. Then you fall out of somebody's good opinion. Get away माने कहीं से चले जाना, या कहीं से बच के निकल जाना, या किसी रिट्रीट या रिसोर्ट को भी गेट अवे कहा जाता है. Tomorrow 11:15 I will have the notification put up once again. So Tempest Act 5 and grammar again. Any other important dialogues? I got 1 or 2 questions which I will try to put in points tomorrow. I will work on them as well. Thank you. Please explain get away again. Okay? It is time for you to get away from the class and get away after your board examinations. Go to a getaway near the beaches. After your board examinations, plan a getaway to the mountains. Good. So, see you tomorrow. All the very best and bye-bye. Take care. God bless.